Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching FrenzyDaClown from the European server playing in the tank that costs over $100 a year to rent from Wargaming. This is the TS5. Crazy thing happened this year, right, with World of Tanks Plus. Originally it was looking like World of Tanks Plus would probably be the death of the balance of the game and the death of the bonds economy. Originally Wargaming were planning on enabling you, if you paid them about £7 a month, which is roughly about $8 a month, if you paid them that amount of money every month, you could be able to demount bond equipment in the game without penalty. That would have absolutely destroyed World of Tanks in so many ways. Firstly, everyone who paid Wargaming that amount of money would just have a flat-out bond advantage with regards to the equipment that they use. They'd be more competitive. They'd be able to fire faster, see further, have better camo, turn faster. All of those things from being able to put bond vents on the vehicle. Or you'd be able to put bond durability device, become pretty much untrackable, and have a couple of extra percentage of hit points to everyone else. Or, for everyone out there who recently got the bond rotation device, you could have been able to demount one of them and put them on every single one of your vehicles with a mod that would be able to automatically demount and remount. Now, a lot of people are using that mod with having the bounty equipment that's demountable through WAT Plus as well. Personally, I don't really feel like there's that much of a difference with a 1% advantage in all of the areas. And if I'm farming on a vehicle, I'll just put the bounty equipment on it anyway, right? It's no problem for me to demount and remount on a tank that I'm going to play 20 times in one day, but I really can't be bothered to demount every single battle I'm going to go into. But if the differences had been so significant, like going from bounty to bond, now there's a huge difference in some areas of going from bounty to bond. Take the turbo, for example. With the turbo, a regular turbo is 4 kilometers an hour, and then it's 5 in a slot, and then it's 5 with bounty, but then it's 6 with bond. So one of the big things that the slot advantage can give you, once you manage to get all the field mods, you can have 2 slots, I think, above tier 7, or is it tier 8 plus? And so that is what allows free-to-play players to be able to stay relatively competitive compared to people who can put bounty equipment on all of their vehicles. But if Wargaming had made it so you could demount for bond, you've absolutely destroyed the game, or at least the balance inside it. However, World of Tanks Plus still comes with one of the, I guess the highlights of it, is that you get this, the TS54. As long as you have World of Tanks Plus, you can get the TS54. Now, is the TS54 a good tank? Well, statistically, it looks really good to me. It's got great damage per minute, it's got good armor, you can side scrape, go hold down, good turret. It should be, to all intents and purposes, a really good tank. However, statistically, it's actually not performing very well. And I think that probably the main reason why it's not performing very well is that just the low alpha damage, right? 280 alpha, and the fact that you can't use a gun rammer on this vehicle kind of holds it back compared to something maybe like a Carnarvon, for example. However, FrenzyDaClown is going to show you one of the best games of World of Tanks in any vehicle all year, let alone in the TS54. This is one of those dream games where Frenzy has absolutely power farmed at the start of the battle, managing to pick up a decent game for any tier 8 tank. But their team is still slightly down on hit points and down on frags. And that is the magical formula when you are trying to have a big game of World of Tanks. So, do I think that this vehicle is worth $100 a year to Wargaming? And you don't even get to keep it. If you were to cancel it, that's it, it's gone, it's just a rental. Oh, hell no. This is totally not worth it. But let's be honest, the main reason why people are getting WAT Plus is not to be able to rent this. This is like just a cherry on top. The main advantage is that people are getting WAT Plus to be able to get probably the gold each week. You can get 500 gold each week if you play the game a lot, as well as the demounting, as well as the extra crew training, and as well as, I guess, the extra map ban slot. When I say things like that, it does make this game seem rather pay to win. Oh, that is a feels-good moment. The WAT Plus tank taking out probably the most overpowered tank in the game, bar none. It's the BZ-176, and I bet you Frenzy was very happy that he caught that BZ-176 in that position, because now, without the threat of the 800 alpha damage on the enemy team, which can sometimes be an insurmountable thing to try and get around, right? Frenzy now has an opportunity for the mother of all farms. All right, let's just stop for a second and zoom out. Look at this, ladies and gents. 6 vehicles spotted in front with a tiger as well. Well, take it away, Frenzy. Let's see what you have got. So this vehicle, Frenzy is only taking gold rounds in this vehicle. Now the gold rounds, they have 280 alpha like the standard rounds, 252 millimeters of pen, so not great, not bad. And I can understand why Frenzy would want to only take gold in this vehicle, because it actually has a very limited ammunition loadout. Frenzy has got 17 rounds left, and with there being 4,800 hit points on the enemy team, when you only hit for 280, that's not too many spare rounds. Frenzy's going to go for the lower plate of the T-28, shutting down the American non-turreted tank destroyer. Now turns their attention towards the 122TM, a much more potent adversary. One thing we're not seeing Frenzy do so far in this game is use the double shot feature, and honestly I think that might be a little bit of a misplay in some regards, because the delay for firing that double shot is only 2 seconds, and the lockout is only 2 seconds as well. If you're going to do double shots on any of the vehicles, this is definitely one of the ones that you want to do it on. But of course, leveling that double shot and hoping that your opponents are going to stay out for you is quite a tricky thing to do, and sometimes it is not the right thing to do. And who am I to judge the lack of doubles, maybe just for YouTube glory, when Frenzy is up to 5,700 damage with 5 frags, and also still has nearly all of their hit points left. But their team still continue to fall, with the Borsig dying to the 1375, and the 1375 behind the Black Prince. Are they going to shut down the Black Prince as well? But not before Frenzy finishes off the ISU 152K, the other 750 alpha damage, high alpha damage gun on the enemy team. And now Frenzy is going to find themselves in a 1 versus 4 scenario, but they only have 5, make that 8 APCR rounds left. Okay, this is the time for the double, right, Frenzy? Release the beast! Boom, baby! And unfortunately, Frenzy loses their ammo rack. Quick, patch that one up. You don't want to get caught here. You've done such a good job, Frenzy, in looking after your hit points. The last thing you want to do is get caught within that regard. Alright, so talk about getting caught. What is this 1375 doing? Well, the 1375 doesn't make that much of a mistake. Frenzy was prepping the double shot there to try and be able to get one at the French light tank, and oh, how the hunter has become the hunted. But the 1375 isn't going to shy away, and I think that really surprises Frenzy, but not by enough, as they land a double in there, shutting down the French light tank, and now turning their attention towards the Tiger, who maybe thought that, you know, the TS-54 would be reloading, but with a DPM this high, no. Frenzy is the one who's coming and hunting you, sir. And just like that, Frenzy has changed his 1 versus 4 into a 1 versus 2. And while he's still outnumbered, the hit points are a lot closer, and whoo, as the artillery shell just whizzes over their head. Alright, so Frenzy has already destroyed over half of the enemy team. There's a chance for a Pools medal now, upgrading from a Radley Walters that they already have. But that's a full health Hellcat that they're going to have to deal with. Frenzy fires on the move. What are you doing, Frenzy? You've got 2 APCR rounds left and 2 HE rounds as well. Oh my goodness gracious. This is getting close. And you can see that Frenzy realizes it. And he's going to start reloading HE. Now the HE on this tank upgrade the alpha damage to 370, but that's still not going to be enough to be able to destroy the Super Hellcat in a single shot. So you can see that Frenzy switches back to APCR with the intuition. And that's a useful thing to have on a vehicle like this, because if you can switch out one shell, you can get the other shell in fairly quickly afterwards with the vehicle's great damage per minute. Alright, 6 minutes left on this game. You could cut the tension with a knife, it is so thick. We need to have a bit of comic relief here, and considering that Frenzy is called DaClown, maybe he's going to be able to manage it. So Frenzy switches out to an HE shell and rolls a good shot into the Lorraine 155-55. What a blessed shell that was. And now Frenzy has 3 shells to be able to deal with the Super Hellcats. They're going to fire 1 right through the front. They get ammo racked again by the Super Hellcat, and Frenzy's going to go in for a ram, reducing them down to being a 1-shot. You got this, right? What are you doing? Oh no, Frenzy, don't clown around here. What are you doing? You're going to release a double at the end? Oh, it's such a greedy Faden's medal. Oh, if that one had missed. Oh, wow, Frenzy. Well, you know, clowns are renowned for bringing in an extra entertainment to their element, right? And Frenzy just couldn't resist to make this one pretty exciting at the end of the game, purposefully firing the penultimate shot into the dirt after that fantastic ram to finish off the Hellcat with the final remaining shell in their Tier 8 American heavy tank, securing at least a bit of a half-cheeky Fadens medal. So what a redonkulous game of World of Tanks. Frenzy picks up their second mark of excellence in the TS54, and if they keep playing like this, they're going to get that third mark very quickly. This was a Fadens medal for destroying the final tank with the final shell, although it was kind of a little bit rigged. Not entirely, though. I've seen some Fadens medals where people fire off 10 shells before the final one against an AFK tank. A Pools medal for destroying 2/3 of the enemy team. A Steel Wall medal for blocking 3,660 damage, enough to destroy this tank a couple times over. And a High Caliber for, yeah, you know, 8,400 damage in a Tier 8 premium tank. That is outrageous. And how many credits do you make if you do 8,000 damage? Well, 126. Not actually that impressive. But then again, Frenzy fired 167,000 credits of ammunition this game. That might be one of the highest ammunition costs I have ever seen. But for many, it would be a small price to pay for this plethora of hero medals, and also 2,464 base experience, one of the highest bases of this patch. So, FrenzyDaClown, congratulations to you on this mammoth game, showing people just what the TS54 is about. And while I'm sure a lot of people are now going to go and probably pick up Watt Plus, I really wouldn't recommend that you do so, at least not for the TS54. The only reason why you should get Watt Plus is if you're playing hundreds of games each week and you're going to make sure you max out the 500 gold that you can get from it. So, FrenzyDaClown, congratulations to you on this mammoth game of World of Tanks. Thank you so much for uploading it onto the What Replays website, and also putting QuickyBaby in the title, which is the best way to be able to get my attention. And I really hope all of you enjoyed this video today. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know what you think about the TS54. Do you even play this, even if you're a Watt Plus customer? Personally, for me, I think I've even forgot that it's in my garage. I'd rather play some of the more exciting double-barreled tanks, like the Object 703 version 2. Anyway, that's it for today, ladies and gents. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.